Do-do-do. Though it's hard to admit it's true, I've come to depend on you. Do-do. Mer, mer, do-do-do-do. You and your angelic shout, loud enough for two. Do-do-do. Burn, burn, and that is why I'll confide in you the truth this time. That is why I just can't go on and live this life. Don't, 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 don't. Yesterday I was right as rain, but now the forecast's not. Burn. He's partly cloudy with trouser stains and his copy of inquiring minds. Bana, bum. But that never meant that much to her. She chose to keep her nose too clean. Burn, dun. She'd rather keep it pointed anyway in the spine of a magazine. Ba-na-na-na, that is why I'll confide in you the truth this time. That is why I just can't go on and live this life. Don't. When you say I trust in you, I promise you the truth. And when you say I bet you won't, you know I will, and it'll be better in the end. Ba-da-bow, burn, 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 la la la. So when you think you got it figured out, then you know you don't. Bark, doon. Like all the rest, you like to sit and pout, but of course you won't. And that is why I'll confide in you the truth this time. That is why I just can't go on and live this life. That is why. That is why. That is why. That is why. Dun 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 dun. Na 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 na. Dun 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 dun.
That was Joanna Huett with a beautiful a cappella rendition of That Is Why, and she is with me right now. Hello.
Hi, how are you, Pablo?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing very good, thank you.
So, an a cappella, ballsy to do an a cappella Jellyfish number, and you pulled it off magnificently. You did a great job with it, and it's
Thank
kind
you.
of it's a hard song to do because there are gaps between the vocals, so you kind of have to add in the and you were really going for it, which I loved. So like, was this kind of I'm just going to do it, see how it turns out, or did you kind of plan some of the arrangement, what you were going to do with the instruments vocally in your head before that?
I did it how I would do it in the shower.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I just said I'm gonna do it because there had been a back and forth between me and you about it, and then I decided not to do it, and then you were promoting the 10th year of the page. And I said, okay, I got to do this. I got to do this. So, having what I had, and in hindsight, being my own Jack Black, I decided, just do it. Just have fun with it. I've always been one about, not taking myself too seriously. So I just decided to have fun with it. I didn't have a band. I couldn't find a karaoke track. And I'm not very well versed with GarageBand or iMovie. So.
Mm. Well, it makes it stand out, but in the best possible way, because no one else has attempted a cappella for a Jellyfish song for this. So, and like I say, you do a great job of it, and I think it worked out better than it would have if you'd have sang to a backing track, the stack of tracks or whatever. It makes it more unique that way, and that's what we like. And
that means a lot. Thank you so much, Pablo. I wish I could have put the harmonies and stuff, but maybe next time. Maybe I'll get a band next time.
But the besides the fact that you sing it really well, it is the joy that comes through on the performance as well, and that's certainly something that you've added to the page. And you've been one of our most active members, certainly recently since finding the page. So because I never really talked to anyone about how they found the page, but it obviously meant a lot to you to have found the page. So how did you come across it?
I really don't know. I mean, I found a Jellyfish page on Facebook, so I don't know if the algorithms just happened to find you or not. Mm-hmm. I think it's one of life's mysteries that brought us together, me, you, and the page together. So,
and as I've said to other artists who have taken part in Jellyfest, a large part of the page's growth and activity and, dare I say, success is the fact that the other pages that are out there, such as the new Grays page and the pages that Brittany runs and the other Jellyfish page, they all work together. And I think one doesn't exist without the other. If I dare say that, and it's just it's a nice relationship that everyone has, and it's all for the same cause as well. Mm-hmm. And it's
a nice network to promote the band. I would not have known about the Licorice Quartet if I had not found your page.
Well, that's really nice to know, because we do try and keep on top of the current goings on as well as everything else, as the other pages do as well. And like I say, one page, certainly our page, in my opinion, doesn't exist without the work that Brittany put into the Andy Sturmer page and directing people onto our page. And there's a lot of original OG fans from back in the day, mixed with a lot of people who are just discovering it. That's why on the security question, I like to say, where did you discover Jellyfish? And, because I'm genuinely interested, to find out the backgrounds of everyone in the band. So Joanna, where did you discover Jellyfish?
Well, it's a long story, and I don't know if I'll have time to tell all of it, but I heard them on a college radio station. I live outside of Atlanta, but I heard them on a college radio station in Atlanta that was very well known, Georgia State University. And that is why hooked me. That's why I chose this song. It will forever be my introduction, my Jellyfish song. So that's how I found out about them. And later on, I got to interview Roger, and I got to see them in concert. There are a lot of other things in between, but just the color. The band is all about color to me. From the art design of their CD covers, album covers, all the way to the harmonies and the songcraft. Reminds me of the music that I grew up with in the 70s. It was about 90, 91. So I was I was a junior in high school.
And where did you see them perform?
I saw them on the Spilt Milk tour at the Masquerade Music Park. Masquerade was a place in Atlanta that was in an old historical building, and they had 3 levels. But also they had this little music park out back. So Trash Can Sinatra's and someone else opened up. I wish I could have seen them at other places, but
once is more than most. I certainly would have killed to have seen Jellyfish play live, but once is never enough as well. So, so what did Tim reference on stage that he was home for this? Because Tim is from Georgia, so did he mention that he was back home?
He lives. He lives in Decatur. So it was a homecoming for him. I got to meet the band after the gig. And so, I got to talk to him a little bit about Atlanta. And when I recently, about a year ago, I got to talk to all the guys, Licorice Quartet guys via video. Mm-hmm. Via Skype. And I was asking Tim things like, what's your favorite restaurant in Decatur? And I was asking the other guys, if I come to LA, what's a great restaurant, blah, blah, blah. So, I'm telling Tim, I've told Tim, I'm like, hey, we need to have a show here, but it's not going to happen quite yet.
Make it happen. You have the power to make that happen.
Well, it's either that. I think it would be better in LA because Roger and Eric are out there. But apparently they're going to stick with showcases and see what happens. But I don't want to annoy them any more than I already have. You know how it is.
You're preaching to the choir, sister. Yep, I feel like I'm annoying them all the time with the things that I ask of them. And stay tuned to Jellyfest to find out some of the things that I annoyed them with. That's one thing about interviewing the members of the band is, they're so knowledgeable musically, but they love talking about things that aren't music based as well, as you'll see with one of the interviews I do later as well. They will talk about favorite restaurants or areas around where they live and stuff like that, because they I think they enjoy being asked questions that are a little outside the box as well, which is good, and they get that with me, and I'm sure they got that with you as well, and I'm sure they expect that with the Licorice Quartet. The incentives to be able to interview them as well. I can't imagine some of the crazy questions that they've been asked.
Well, when you have more time, we'll definitely have to talk about that. I engaged Eric in a long conversation. Well, not really too long, but a long enough conversation about Fadoodle and how I had to look up the verbiage. And he started talking to me in a British accent. And it's like...
Sounds about right.
But I can tell you more later if you're interested. And I can tell you more about my phone interview with Roger that I did back in 1991.
Please tell us now. Yeah, would love to hear about it.
Okay. So I was a budding music journalist. And, this is back in high school. And I've been turned down for other interviews. And I thought, I want to interview these guys and they're brand new. So let's see if I can, make the connection. I contacted PR at Charisma Records, met a sweet lady named Betsy Mahoney. She's like, yeah, let's set this up at my local radio station here, small radio station in Conyers, which is a smaller town where I used to live. They had the mic set up and everything. So I recently bought a tape recorder just to hear that tape. And now I'm just like cringing over it because you could tell I was nervous, but I think Roger was also pretty new to this too, because you could sort of tell. And I asked the most mundane questions, the ones that they get over and over again. But I did, at the end, I left it open. I said, so what would you tell your fans before you come to play? This was Belly Button. I forgot where they were playing. It was at a club or something. Mm. And I said, what would you tell your fans? He said, yeah, bring board games and stuff. And, we'll hang out, I was like, okay. So I guess, he going along with that image, that color image that they have, hey, bring your old board games. So
That's really cool. And how pretty was 20-year-old Jason back then?
Excuse me, it wasn't Jason, it was Roger. Did I say Jason?
Did you interview the full band or was it Roger?
It was Roger.
Oh, it was just yeah. But no, you said Roger. Yeah. I just assumed that you interviewed the full band. No, that's me. But yeah, no, we're just going to talk about the pretty boys now. How pretty was Jason back then?
I didn't talk to Jason because I saw them on the Spilt Milk tour. But he is my he is my adult crush now. And he liked when we were talking about, when you and I were talking about, there were posts about the inside jacket of Can You Still Feel? Mm-hmm. And, we were talking about the leather pants and stuff. And I'm like,
we sound like perverts, don't we? Yeah.
yeah, I know. I was like, show me the inside of the jacket. He is my fantasy. And he liked it.
Yeah. See, he knew he was pretty. Come on. We've talked about this.
He is hot as hell. And I'm thinking, if this is going to go to air, if you're going to put this to air, he's probably going to think, okay, she's absolutely crazy. You know, it's like, no, it's a crush. it's a midlife crisis crush, but for her.
Well, the point of this was to get to know some members of the group and everything. And I mean, there's the story of he was on he was doing a solo tour and very early on, and the shows were reasonably attended, but not as well attended as they could be. And then he ended up on the cover of a magazine, and because he looks like Jason in the 90s, and the amount of ladies that showed up after he was on that local magazine cover really boosted the attendance.
He looks fantastic. He does look very young still. I'm wondering if he's vegetarian, vegan, if he's made a deal with the devil. I want to know.
I do joke that like him and Eric have drunk the blood of children, I think, to maintain their youthful looks, I think. But yeah,
but someday I do want to meet Jason and at least talk to him a bit. I hope I won't scare him, but I'd love to see him live.
If it makes you feel any better, I have something like 36 copies of Belly Button, and that hasn't driven away the band yet, so I wouldn't worry about that. So I think you're fine. This sounds like a slumber party now. I feel like this should be much later on in the...
Yeah, maybe. Okay. All right, here's one of my stuffed animals. It's a pig. It's a pillow pet pig. So
yeah.
So yeah, if you really want to go slumber party,
okay. So
really want to go slumber party, we need to get those dolls that TLQ has that they had made.
Mm-hmm. So so you get the ice. I'll bring the ice cream.
Okay.
And then you have some board games, and we'll put on Jellyfish. And we'll just bitch about the boys that we like. So.
Oh fuck yeah.
You're not the first to swear. It's fine. You should hear the interview with Eric later on. It's the filthiest thing that I've ever, filthiest chat that I think I've ever had. So yeah, all fun. Look,
I think I caught Eric off guard.
We're all losing with dignity here. It's fine.
All right, just making sure. The interview with TLQ, the little fan interview. Eric was really bored. He was just sitting there. And wasn't talking or anything, just sort of sitting there. And I'm like, you look bored, Eric. That woke him up real quick. He's like, no, this is my resting bitch face. I'm like, okay then. And then we started into Fadoodle and stuff, and he's just a card. All of them are fantastic. So
Eric's so laid back though that he, because Roger is, I guess Roger and Tim are kind of the spokespeople of the group, and Eric will, unless asked a question, I think he will just, just sit there and look off into the distance and be in his own world.
Yeah.
But that's part of what makes Eric wonderful. So.
Yeah, we could go on and on forever.
We should, when we can't. So
yeah. So I had the songbook from Volume 1, and I was looking at it, talking about Fadoodle, and I said, La Perla? because there's a drawing in there with a lady wearing La Perla, which, as you might know, is very, 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 very expensive lingerie that like
I did
500.
not know that. Okay.
Yes. Look up La Perla. I don't understand why you would spend $500 on something that you're going to take off in less than a minute.
Well, I mean, you're not speaking for every lady there, I'm sure.
but Eric, I was like, La Perla? He's like, you know, huh? I said, yeah. I mean, not that I've had La Perla, but I just felt so comfortable with these guys. And part of me is like, you know, with Eric, I'm like, is he giving me a bunch of bullshit? But I don't know. We had a hell of a time and I want to do it again. So it just depends on, do I have any more questions to ask him? And right now that I don't, sadly. So, yeah, they're fantastic guys. And Pablo, I have to thank you. After they broke up, I was so pissed off. I tore up my spilt milk poster. Yes.
Okay.
Yes. It was in my college dorm room and I tore it up. And I did not follow their solo careers. I did not listen to, well, at the time, I don't think YouTube was really that big. I don't think YouTube even existed in 94, 95.
Oh, definitely not. No.
Yeah. So, you know, you, Pablo, and I know you're very humble, but you have really opened up the Jellyfish world to me. Roger's stuff, Jason's stuff, Imperial Drag. Oh my God, Imperial Drag. Wild, baby, wild.
Uh-huh.
So, you know, I have to thank you. And I tell you what, all the members of your group, of our tribe, are just fantastic, good people. You know, everybody, you know, respects each other's boundaries with what albums are their favorite. But I had to thank you, Pablo. You've done a hell of a job.
Well, thank you. Well, I always say that, you know, it's crazy that we're at 4,000 members now, and there still hasn't been any real wars or anything. I rule with an iron fist, you see.
Well, I really appreciated it when that guy made an offensive comment to me with my belly button on. That. Thank you for taking care of that.
Well, and you know, I think we are the page represents the band. The band are a part of the page. Family members are a part of the page, and I think it's just there has to be, you know, some give and take and stuff like that. And you know, I haven't been overthrown yet as moderator of the group. I guess I want to. Yeah, you can kiss my ring. You know. And if anyone's losing their mind over this, it's not a 12-inch vinyl. No, it's not. It's a flat. It's a... Yeah, sorry. Well, the thing is, on the Imperial Drag album cover, it's not Charlotte who's holding it, Roger's ex. It's another, I think, a model that they brought in. He's holding a 12-inch vinyl of Imperial Drag, but it doesn't exist. And I spent a long time trying to find it, as I'm sure a lot of other people tried to as well. So hopefully at some point we will get an Imperial Drag LP. And yeah, hopefully a lot more to come.
My greatest fantasy is definitely to sing with the band. Of course, we're not going to get Jellyfish in full, but I would love to sing with the band. I mean, I've even thought like, I want a phone. Oh, see, no, I got a boner for your zodiac sign. You know, just really, that's it. You know, wear the skin tight stuff. You know, just totally. I mean, between that Imperial Drag, you know, I would love to sing with them in my greatest fantasies. But you know what? I'm very happy that I was able to do my acapella version of. That is why. Sorry.
No, it's.
My gastric reflux is killing my voice this morning. So.
Yeah, it is still early where you are. Look, I want to thank you for being a part of this and the enthusiasm that you bring to the group, and members like yourself make me realize how lucky I am to have this group. I never take it for granted, but sometimes I kind of forget sometimes when life is. a bit full on, and I've realized how lucky I am to have so many good friends in the group as well. So I want to thank you, and I want to thank everyone for continuing to watch us on Jellyfest, and stay tuned for what is coming up next.